Now, from Wish TV, this is The Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. Coming up tonight, it's the first Zone Extra of the new year. In the Coach's Corner, we're joined by the man who has won more basketball games than anyone in state history. Plus, our Athlete of the Week is a three-sport star for the Franklin Grizzly Cubs.
I think it's really cool, and I'm so grateful that I have coaches that support me, like being a multi-sport athlete.
We're tipping off 2024 with a new Zone Extra right now.
We are tipping off indeed. Good evening and welcome to the Zone Extra. I'm Andrew Chernoff. What a great week of high school sports action. In the Coach's Corner, he's won more games than anyone else in state history. Legendary Bloomington South boys basketball head coach J.R. Holmes joins the show. Plus, our Athlete of the Week is a three-sport star at Franklin and a future Xavier Musketeer. We'll introduce you to Grizzly Cubs senior Lauren Clem. And our on-campus feature takes us to Bloomington as we catch up with former Lawrence North basketball standout C.J. Gunn. Now, let's take a look at this week in high school sports. Last week saw the first high school basketball Friday night of 2024. At Warren Central, it was second-ranked Lawrence North on the road and picking up a 15-point victory over the Warriors to improve to 10-0 on the season. At Chittard, it was a good one between the Trojans and Guerin Catholic, with the visiting Golden Eagles getting the 56-52 victory. At Franklin, the Grizzly Cubs picked up their 9th win in a row as they topped Mooresville in a mid-state showdown. And at Fishers, the top-ranked Tigers had no problems with Pike. The Tigers are a perfect 12-0 on the year after a 22-point win. So let's take a look at this week's Class 4A boys basketball AP poll. There you see Fishers, number 1 in the state. Lawrence North is second, followed by Westfield, Cathedral, and Noblesville. In girls basketball, it's hard to believe, but the end of the regular season is quickly approaching with the state tournament beginning later this month. In fact, the sectional draw just over a week and a half from now on January 21st. Time flies. Last Saturday, number 1 Hamilton Southeastern was on the road for a clash with Carroll. First quarter, Kennedy Holman drives and gets the floater to fall. Royals with a 2-point lead. Holman had 23. Fast forward to the fourth. HSE cruising. They get the ball ahead to Maya Mikaluski, who lays it in for 2 of her team-high 26. The Royals win it 82-63 and improve to an impressive 16-1 on the season. Here's a look at this week's Class 4A rankings in girls basketball. HSE number 1, Lawrence Central right behind it in the second spot. Third, fourth, and fifth is Columbia City, Center Grove, and Fort Wayne Snyder, respectively. Also last Saturday was Championship Day in the Hendricks County Tournament. On the girls' side, Plainfield faced Danville in the title game. Under 10 seconds to go, Danville down 2. Emma Ancelet. Oh, we're going to overtime, a huge basket to tie it. Game tied in the final seconds then of OT. Ancelet finds a cutting Ava Walls, but she misses. We go to double overtime. Oh my goodness. Under 30 seconds left, Warriors down 3. They cannot get a shot up though right here. The Quakers force the turnover, come up with the steal. Plainfield is the Hendricks County champ, winning 62-57. In the boys game, it was Danville hosting Avon for the county title. First quarter, Jedediah Minette stops, pops, and buries the 3, part of a 10-0 run for the Orioles to start the game. Second quarter, the Avon defense forces the turnover. Up ahead to Minette, who throws it down. Avon up 19 at the break. Fourth quarter, more from the Orioles. Isaac Kramer, the basket and the foul right here. Avon wins its first Hendricks County title in 11 years. 68-42, the final. To the mat, where it's a busy time for high school wrestling. Now, last weekend featured big-time competitions for both the boys and the girls. Saturday was the Indiana High School Coaches Association Boys Team State. In 4A, it was number 2 Crown Point coming away with a 26-22 victory over top-seeded Brownsburg. In 3A, Floyd Central knocked off Terre Haute South. Meanwhile, Delta is the Class 2A champion. The Eagles came away with the win over top-seeded Belmont. And in 1A, Rochester is a state champ as the Zebras defeat Adams Central. And last Friday was the semi-state round of the girls wrestling state tournament. Congrats to Mooresville and Southport, which both claimed semi-state team championships. Penn and East Noble also were team winners. The state finals take place tomorrow morning in Kokomo, beginning at 11 o'clock. Time for a break, but we have much more ahead on the Zone Extra. Up next, it's the Coach's Corner. He's won more high school basketball games than anyone in state history. Legendary Bloomington South boys head coach J.R. Holmes joins us to chat hoops. And still ahead, she's a multi-sport star for the Grizzly Cubs and committed to run collegiately at Xavier next year. We'll introduce you to our Athlete of the Week from Franklin High School.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. This is the Zone Extra Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. Time now for our Coach's Corner. He's the legendary coach who has won more high school basketball games than anyone in state history. We welcome to the Zone Extra Bloomington South's J.R. Holmes. J.R., thanks for joining us tonight. And before we start talking about your absurd number of wins as a head coach, I want to ask you about this year's team. 6-6 in the season. What have you seen from your guys so far?
As my wife put it, mediocrity finds a way to lose. We've lost 3 or 4 games that we should have won, I think, down the stretch, and was not able to make the play. So we have a chance to be competitive, but we got a lot of work to do with it, and our kids have to get themselves to a point that it's a privilege to play, and there's a way that we want you to play in high school and not like an AAU game. But we're working at it. We haven't given up on it yet.
No doubt about it. Is that the message that you relay to them every single practice?
Just about every single, how it is every single day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This group from day one to now, what do you think the potential of this team is?
Well, we're young. We're playing in our top 12 players. We got 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and 4 juniors. And so we're only playing 1 senior or 2 seniors at the time. And, I think down the road that we have a chance to be competitive, and sectional's awful tough with Center Grove in there and Bloomington North and such. But we have a chance to make some noise in that sectional and see what can come out of there.
Those guys definitely getting some reps, especially those younger guys on your team. Okay, I want to ask you the big question, because we know between the two of us, we have 902 career wins. I have 0. You have all 902 of those, Coach. Over 750 of those at Bloomington South. Can you remember all of them?
Pretty much most of them. You know, if you tell me a certain game and a score and something, I can probably pull something out of my head that we played in that game. But used to do it a lot really easy. Now I'm getting older, it's a little tougher.
That number is just insane. I know that you probably remember this moment last month when you were honored with the game ball after getting win 900. What was that moment like when you were getting that game ball and you sort of had a chance to even briefly reflect on your career?
Well, what made it special was we were honoring our 25th year anniversary team, which my son was on, and he was there, and so he presented me with the ball. And that was a great moment for me and him and our family. It's just that been blessed to be able to be in a school system that has allowed me to coach and not interfered very often, and a principal that's very supportive, great assistant coaches, and we went through a spell of really good high school players. Not a whole lot of Division I, although we've had about 15 or 20 of those, but more normal high school players that just love to play the game, and they tried to play it the right way. And I always appreciate the dedication and the work that they've done, along with my assistant coaches and such.
You mentioned that it was your son who presented you with the ball. What did he tell you as that moment was happening?
Oh, he just, we hugged, and he just said, "Congratulations, Dad, I'm proud of you."
And that had to have hit home a little bit for you.
Oh, yeah. Pretty emotional for me, yes.
Yeah, no doubt. That is JR. So, JR, I want to ask you, because when you got into coaching, did you ever imagine that you'd reach this level of number of wins?
No. I had no plan to do that. My plan was, I got a degree in mathematics, was to coach for 5 years. I was single and having a great time. And I thought, well, if I coach 5 years, then I'll get settled down and get a job in my math field and get rich and enjoy life. But that never happened. 5 years turned into 10, into 20, into 30, and all the way up now to 53 or 54. And it got away from me. I didn't get rich, but I did get rich from the standpoint of my relationships with my players and my coaches and stuff that went through the history of our seasons.
Is that what keeps you going? Because there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that they coach even half as long as you, they get burnt out. But you mentioned those relationships. Is that driving force that keeps you going?
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, and the second part of it is we've been successful, so it's not like we're getting our head beat in. And thirdly, I think it is I don't have much else to do. I just do basketball and play golf in the summer. And so I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't coaching at this time. And people ask me, when are you going to give it up? And I don't know if it's this March is going to be my last one, or maybe the next March, or maybe 4 or 5 years. I just have to see how my health is. And if I still, I judge it by practice. If I get tired of going to practice, I don't want to go to practice, or I shortchange practice, I think that's telling me it's time for you to get out and let somebody else do it. Because, you got to enjoy the practice, the process to get to the games. The games are always fun. You got people there, everybody cheering and so on, and the games take care of themselves. But I think that preparation has to be something that you still want to do every day. And so far, I still like to do that. I still want to be able to see if I can put 5 guys out there that can beat the other coaches' 5 guys they put out there.
And JR, I want to show just the upcoming schedule for you guys. We have about 30 seconds left or so, but here's who you guys will be playing in the upcoming weeks or so. You guys play at Columbus East on January 12th, Indianapolis Homeschool, then you're at Castle after that. What are you expecting over the next week or so?
Well, it's we got to go on the road quite a bit to Columbus East, and they got a young team and a new coach, and they're really scrappy, so it'll be a tough game there for us. Monday night's game is with I just help a guy out who coaches at the homeschool to give them a game, because they helped us out during the COVID season by playing us. Castle's a bear down there. They've got 2 6'6" twins and a 6'7" center. Then Martinsville comes in. That's a big rival game for Bloomington South. So, it doesn't get very easy, even though you think sometimes some of the games you should be able to win if you play the way we'd like for us to play.
No doubt about it. That is J.R. Holmes, the legendary coach at Bloomington South. JR, appreciate the time as always. Congratulations on 900 and best of luck the rest of the way.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime. Still ahead on the Zone Extra, it's our Athlete of the Week. She shines on the basketball court and is also a star runner for the Grizzly Cubs. Up next, meet Franklin senior Lauren Clem. Plus, we go on campus at IU to connect with former Lawrence North standout CJ Gunn.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. Franklin basketball is having another outstanding season. It's ranked 9th in Class 4A this week, and a key reason for the Grizzly Cubs' success is senior point guard Lauren Clem. Clem is a 4-year starter on the basketball team, and this year she's averaging 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals per game. But she's much more than a basketball player. Last month, she committed to run track and cross country at Xavier for next season. Clem says she's played basketball since kindergarten and started running in middle school, quickly finding success in the sport. Lauren adds that she's fortunate to have such a supportive community at Franklin that allows her to shine in different events.
I think it's really cool, and I'm so grateful that I have coaches that support me, like being a multi-sport athlete too, because I know that can be hard sometimes, but I think it's great. Starting in the summer and going all the way through the fall definitely helps me stay in shape for basketball, and then coming off of basketball, doing more sprinting stuff, that definitely helps me in track too.
Several of our basketball players are 2 or 3 sport athletes, like Lauren. And for Lauren to have that kind of success in cross country and still contribute to our basketball team, I think says a lot for her. I think it says a lot for our team and the people that she's playing with. All right, and it's really good to see anybody that you've coached go on and compete at the next level, whether it's in the sport you're coaching them or in another.
I think it's incredible. I mean, this is something I've worked for 4 years now to get to this point. So I'm just excited to start that journey and excited to have new teammates there.
Lauren contributes in every statistical category, every game, which makes her kind of difficult to guard. She's a very good rebounder for her size. I think she's second on the team in rebounding, first in assists, second in steals, and then she can always step up and score on any given night. So to have those kinds of abilities to help your team is really nice.
When I'm on the floor, I'm more just like trying to get other people's shots, doing what I can on defense to help the team, just push the ball. Really, I don't focus on my own stats that much. I just focus on like how many points we can get our team and my teammates.
See the Zone banner in the gym right there? Gotta love it. Time for a break, but much more to come on the Zone Extra, including our play of the week. Plus, it's the latest installment of Ask the Commissioner with Paul Neidig of the IHSAA.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. It's time to go on campus where we catch up with a former Central Indiana high school athlete as he or she competes at the college level. This week, we head to Bloomington with the IU basketball team. Over the weekend, Hoosier sophomore CJ Gunn was a key piece off the bench in IU's win over Ohio State. Gunn played 24 minutes, scoring a season-high 10 points and recording a steal. In high school, he was an Indiana All-Star at Lawrence North, averaging 23.5 points per game his senior season. Gunn says his hard work and practice allowed him to step up when his number was called against the Buckeyes.
I think it's just how much I watch the game and study the game. You know, Coach made an emphasis that I need to be more in tune with what we're doing on both sides of the floor. So being upstairs with Walsh and Jordy, just going over film consistently, that obviously brings me more comfort in the game.
His last few days of practice has been tremendous. And, you know, I'm telling all these guys, you know, it's how you practice, man, that carries over into a real basketball game. And he had two good days, man, and I thought he deserved to play. And I thought he responded, which was kind of nice.
Now it's time for Ask the Commissioner. Each week we take one of your questions to IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig and bring you his answer. Here's this week's question. As we begin 2024, what are you most excited for in the new year?
You know, I'm excited anytime a student athlete gets to participate in an athletic endeavor with a high school-based and education-based coach. And we see that time after time. And for me, that never gets old. Being able to get in and watch our coaches who truly care about the development of student athlete more than self is very important to me. And I get to have an opportunity to see that happen. And Indiana is unique because it still matters in a lot of communities. And we don't necessarily want to support the people who are about themselves first. It always has to be about the student athlete first.
Now it's time to take a look at our play of the week. Each week we feature one of the top plays from the world of high school sports in Central Indiana. Plus we want you to get involved, so be sure to tweet us your submissions. But first, here is this week's top play. Avon taking on Plainfield in the Hendricks County semis. We're tied here when Rohan Pearson for the win. Wow, Orioles would go on to win the county title the next evening. Oh, that bench went crazy. Now our crews see a lot of great action, but we want to see your best plays every week too. So send them our way. Don't forget to vote for the Zone Basketball Player of the Week as well. Here are this week's nominees. Bryson Cardinal from Guerin Catholic, John Anthony Hall from Fishers, Micah Davis from Franklin, and Julius Gizzy from New Pal. You can vote on wishtv.com, and it's open through tomorrow afternoon. We'll announce the winner on The Zone tomorrow at 11:08. And MyNDTV is your local home for high school sports. Coming up tomorrow night, it's a doubleheader from historic Southport Fieldhouse in the semifinals of the Marion County Tournament. In the first game, it's North Central facing second-ranked Lawrence North. And the nightcap, starting around 7:30, it's Franklin Central taking on Warren Central. Oh, you can see all the action live on MyNDTV tomorrow night. Some good games there, and it's a great night of high school basketball across Central Indiana. Even outside of those games, we'll have all the scores plus highlights of 10 games on The Zone tomorrow, starting at 11:08. Some of the other games that we'll be covering on The Zone include these. How about this? The Johnson County Tournament semis, Whiteland versus Greenwood Christian, and then Greenwood versus Center Grove. Also, Brownsburg, Fishers, HSE versus Westfield, and Marion against Mount Vernon. Some great basketball games there. That's all for us tonight on the Zone Extra. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tune in again next Thursday night for a brand new episode. We'll see you on The Zone tomorrow at 11:08.